why should you outsource? Obviously, the dream for a lot of you will be to travel the world, because it was for me. Traveling the world, I didn't want to work 40-hour weeks. If I could work 5-10 hours a week, that is perfect. And that's what I did last year. I was earning last year like 3 to 5k a month with my agency, working 5 to 10 hours. I had a VA on board, I had a video editor on board, and it meant I could travel to places like Afghanistan and like not worry about constantly having Wi-Fi. And honestly, it's like living the absolute dream that I was earning the same as I was as a plasterer, and even more, and literally working like a tenth of the hours from wherever I wanted in the world. So outsourcing is really, really important. I've actually got 4 team members now, and it helps so much. I don't have to do any of my outreaching, video editing, graphic design or anything. I just make sure the clients are happy and take the sales calls. So the goal is to have a business that doesn't revolve around you. You want a business that eventually you can leave for a month or 2 and come back to a stronger business. I'm not at the stage where I can fully leave my business, but that's what we're building towards. I have one where I can have days off easily. I don't need to send out the emails. It is, as I said, 4 team members. This allows me to do 5-10 hours max of actual service delivery. The rest of my life I can use how I want. This is a mix of sales calls, content creation, and enjoying traveling. Don't become the bottleneck in your own business. You don't want to be selling your hours. You want to be selling results. Because if you sell your hours, you're going to be stuck in essentially a 9 to 5 again. So where do you outsource? Obviously, this massively depends on the role you're hiring for. If you're looking for a virtual assistant, which is a good place to start, they can run the outreach system for you, and onlinejobs.ph is where I've got all of mine. It's a Filipino job site, and they're really good at English. They're hardworking, they work in your time zone, and they only cost around $3 to $5 per hour if it's just a basic VA role. So what should you look for when outsourcing to a VA? They need good internet, and I check that by getting them to send a screenshot of that before I get them on the interview. A good laptop. A lot of mine for the outreach system, I ask them to have MacBooks. They need a high level of spoken and written English. So I get them to send a 1-minute video before getting on the call, so I know that they can speak English for communicating with me mainly. A strong work history. So you don't want someone that's constantly changing jobs. You want to build a long-term relationship. You don't want to constantly be teaching people how to do the role. Would you enjoy working with them? That's a big point. And would they enjoy working with you? If they don't seem a good fit for your business, I've had people like VAs that were probably better VAs, but they just don't suit that role. They're like really creative and the role is quite monotonous and like sending emails, and actually that is not what would suit them, and I didn't want them to be unhappy in a role. Can I give them more responsibility in the future? Do you trust them, and do they have a learning mindset where they can learn new skills and develop their skills? And do they take initiative? This is a big one. You don't want someone that any problem that pops up constantly comes to you. You want, if it's a small problem, they can take a bit of initiative and solve that, especially once they've been working with you for a while. So how do you outsource successfully? A lot of people outsource and expect the world from them, but don't actually give them the proper training. But you also don't want to spend hours and hours training your VAs. So that's why you want to build SOPs. You want to put your brain on a page. So for me with the email system, I learned it first and then I created SOPs around it. So SOPs are standard operating procedures. So they're step-by-step guides on how to do each specific role correctly. These should be so basic and simple that anyone could understand them, down to the finest details. So it'd literally be like, open Gmail, put in email password, click compose email, copy and paste into, like, it's a bit condescending, but you want to create them so someone can literally, like a 5-year-old could step by step and go through it. You have to put your brain on a page in order to outsource it, otherwise you're going to be the bottleneck in your business. I also create a Loom video where I talk through the steps and actually show the steps. So not only do they see the steps, They actually see me go through the whole process. So if they ever have a question, it's probably in the SOP. So that saves me micromanaging all the VAs. It saves so much time, minimizes the training, and if an employee ever did leave, you don't have to then retrain them. You can send them the SOP, they understand that. If they've got any questions, they can ask you them. The more you keep on top of this, easier it will be to outsource in the future. Do not bottleneck your own business. So you can get to the point where every part of your business is SOP'd, apart from content. Like, there's part of your business, like someone else couldn't come on camera and be my personal brand. But like in terms of my business side, every part of my business side, I could get someone to do sales, I could get someone to do the client fulfillment, but I just need an SOP for that. You have to relinquish control. It can be hard at the start to give responsibility away in your business, and I understand this, people are perfectionists, but it's so important to grow and actually enjoy your freedom. If someone could do the same job as you and it's affordable and frees up your time to actually grow the business in the needle moving tasks, why wouldn't you do it? You just, like, unless you absolutely love that task, it's really important that you can outsource and grow from there. It's why the hiring stage is so important. You need to hire someone you can trust. And in the early stages, you do have to be there for them. You do have to answer their questions, watch their work like a hawk, especially in the email system, to ensure they're doing it all correct. But once you've worked with them for a while, I've got VAs where I really trust them. I can send them slightly more vague tasks and then they'll get it right because they've got that initiative. And you have to let them do their thing and focus on what you're good at, the needle moving task. And finally, good management and good work. So your business and the culture is a reflection of you. You cannot expect like your workforce to do things you're not willing to do. It's not, if you've never been willing to send the emails, you're not going to know how to do it, and you're not going to be willing to like teach them how to do it. So you have to know what makes them tick, what motivates them, and how they like to work. Yes, they might be in a different country. Yes, it might be a really simple task they're doing, but they're going to provide better work. They're going to go above and beyond with the emails, with the outreach, with the graphic design, with the video editing, if you actually understand them and make working for you enjoyable. So don't just disregard it. They're the ones that are driving your business forward and doing the tasks that you often don't want to do. So good management really creates good work. And the more you can make it a positive, enjoyable environment, the better work, and also the longer they'll stay with you, which saves you with the whole cost and time of the whole hiring process, training them, and it can be a faff. So that's why you really want to focus on that. And in the description, I've got an example job ad that you can use to hire VAs and make sure you get good ones, and also the interview script, so you know what questions to ask, you know what questions will help you find a good VA. I've hired about 5 or 6 VAs now, and yeah, these scripts will really help you.